Alrighty, so first off, Coach, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
So I'm sure that win must have felt pretty special on your birthday.
Yeah, it certainly made that day a lot better. It didn't. When I got up that morning, I was thinking it wasn't a great day just from the Jackson State game, but it certainly turned into a really nice birthday.
So kind of going off that, like um, between the loss to Jackson State and the comeback win against Colorado, like what's the morale been in the locker room the past several days?
Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't really seen them since our game against Colorado after we won, but I do think that it's going to be, obviously more confident. I think that our kids know that they let one slip away against Jackson State, but I think they learned from it, and I think that they definitely came to Colorado with a different mindset. I think we kind of almost watched our team grow up in front of our eyes during the Colorado game. I mean, there was even a difference between the first half and the second half, but I just think the fact that they band together, they figured out that they can get it done, they can do hard things, and I think that's certainly going to help them down the stretch. But now it's a matter of us starting the games out that way, fighting every possession, and believing that we can win the entire ball game.
Yeah, so like that energy in the second half against Colorado, how do you guys plan to replicate that sort of energy against Louisiana in hostile territory?
Yeah, I think that our kids have to understand that they've got to come out of the gates every time, out of the locker room, every game, focused, and they got to compete. I think you can tell that we're, changing some lineups and moving some kids around, and they're having to play a lot of different positions. And but it's just about being gritty and tough. And I think we saw a lot of that against Colorado in the second half, especially of some great toughness and some great tough plays. So I think that our kids love to win. They certainly hate to lose, and I think that they will come with the right mindset going on this this road trip. I mean, it's going to be not just Lafayette, but then we go on the road, to the Thanksgiving tournament and play some good teams there as well. So they definitely are going to have to bring it, and we'll see today in practice, to make sure that they're ready for that challenge.
So, and I know it's only a few games into the season, but with Bailey performing on a really consistent level off the bench, would you say she's taking the proper steps into growing into a potential bigger role on the team?
I think she has a huge role right now. I mean, she's a big piece of what we're doing, and they all understand. Bailey, we have big plans for her, and I think she's taking every opportunity that she has and excelling at it very well. She's going to continue to grow in that role, and we've got a lot of different people that can do those things. So yeah, I mean, I love what she's doing, and I think she's taking great pride in her opportunities and really, making the most out of them.
Is there an update on Katie Farrell, how long she could possibly be out?
Yeah, so she had surgery the day after she hurt her hand, and it's a 3 to 4 week return. So we're hopeful that it'll be closer to the 3 weeks than the 4 weeks, but it should be a pretty quick turnaround. So we're very grateful for that.
And what does it say about the toughness of your team being able to go to the foul line 41 times, and on top of that, even making 36 of them?
Yeah, well, I think that's a thing that we're going to have to continue to do is to be really aggressive and get to the paint so that we can get to the free throw line. I mean, those are easy points to get if we're mentally tough at the free throw line, which I think you saw some kids be very mentally tough and be really good shooters there. So I just think, that I really feel like Bree Scott set the tone for us when she came out and was super aggressive to begin the game. And then I think everybody saw that success and continued to be that way. So hopefully that's another turning point for us that will continue to be aggressive and tough and get ourselves to the free throw line a number of times.
Coach, you mentioned Bree. What element, other than obviously her ability to get to the line, does she bring that maybe this team was missing in the first 2 games and even last season when she wasn't playing?
Well, I mean, she has such great experience. She's a super senior. She's played in a lot of big-time ball games. She's very tough, understands what it takes to play at that level. And so just that experience alone, I think, is huge for us. With Bree out, Katie out, at that time, those are 2 super seniors, and we've got 5 seniors on the roster, and everybody else is juniors. Our freshmen and sophomores with the exception of Big Jazz. So we're a very young basketball team. So when you take 2 seniors out of the lineup or off the floor, you're talking about some kids that haven't played very many college basketball games. So just that experience of toughness and leadership that Bree brings, I think was huge for us against Colorado.
How do you think Sunday is going to be a measuring stick of how your team handles success? Obviously, you have the big win Wednesday night against Colorado, and then you got to turn around, go on the road, and play Louisiana. How do you think that'll show if your team can handle success?
I think our kids will be great about it. I mean, we're so early in the season. I mean, we played 3 games and that's it. So we've got a lot to prove. This game is about us. I mean, each game in front of us is about us and getting better. That's why we play these non-conference games. That's why we try to set our kids up for some tough situations. I mean, Lafayette used to be is in the Sun Belt, and I used to be in that conference, and it's a really tough place to play. And that's one of the reasons that we agreed to go there is because we knew that it would challenge our kids. So I think the fact that we won against Colorado is just going to give us confidence. I think they understand that we have a big challenge ahead of us, just because it's on the road, you know. But Lafayette's a very good basketball team. They're very well coached and they play very gritty and tough. So we'll have to come in and they're going to try to protect their home court, and we'll have to play really well on the road.
Coach, I know you're mentioning the lineups and kind of changing things up. I guess what'd you like out of Bree just kind of starting and kind of getting things going, Saga going to the bench, and how have you seen Bailey kind of really embrace her role coming off the bench and being that spark plug?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it really had anything to do about Saga going to the bench or Bree starting. I think it was more about us putting just some experienced players on the court in some different positions too. And it also helps with the matchups. You know, every game that we play, the matchups are going to be a thing for us. I mean, we just right now with some kids out, we have some difficult matchups. And so, you know, we have multiple people that can perform at a high level, whether it be scoring, defense, whatever that may be. And we've just got to find the right combinations. But I thought that Bree I knew that she was going to embrace the opportunity to get on the court for the first time this season. And I think you saw that. I think she came out of the gates really well, was very motivated. She was very appreciative of the opportunity, and she performed for her team. And I think that we'll continue to have those opportunities. I think Bailey's just so excited to be playing college basketball, you know, and when she gets her number called, man, she jumps at the chance and goes for it. And we're seeing some really great production from her. And we've just got, you know, the thing about it is that like Riley and Bailey right now are our best 2 scorers. But they're a mismatch problem for us on defense because they're smaller. You know, we play against bigger guards, we play against bigger teams, and so we have to think about those things. But I love the fact that Bailey can come in and give us a spark. She can give us some juice, you know, and I love that she's relishing that role right now.
In terms of some other players stepping up, I guess, how did you kind of see, I know you mentioned her before in the offseason, but in terms of Lana and her just kind of growing up in that last game?
Yeah, you know, Lana had a great offseason, and I thought we saw some of that against Colorado. She rebounded the ball well for us. She attacked the basket, and she can do both of those things. She can run the floor, and you know, she's got to continue to get stronger in the weight room because that's the piece that's really going to affect her having to play in the paint. But she used her athleticism really well for us, and I liked seeing her confidence grow throughout that game, and she gives us a true 4-5 position whenever we put her on the floor. So I think her experience and just getting that opportunity to play in a big-time situation is only going to benefit us on down the line.
For me, I know like you're mentioning you're integrating new players and kind of figuring out lineups. I guess how do you kind of help the defense? Because I know that was a little bit of a problem area in the game against Colorado where you're kind of allowing easy layups and just kind of those things in the post there.
Yeah. So we did when we had to change some defensive stuff up. You know, we had to really try to take away their 2 best scorers and tried to just clog up the paint a little bit with the others. And in turn, it ended up being some easy buckets or at least some uncontested buckets for us. And so we just have to continue to work. I mean, we will never abandon our defensive philosophy. We've just got to continue to work on those matchups and finding ways to help our kids be successful. And, you know, it might be going to a zone occasionally, you know, which we did the other night, and we're not afraid to do that. But I do think that, you know, holistically, we want to be a really good man-to-man defensive team. And it's just a matter of our young kids growing up and getting stronger because that's the piece is it's just that they're not physically strong enough yet to be able to defend some people one-on-one. So we've got to continue to work on that.
And Sorry.
You're right. Need some of my Desante water.
No. I think I'll be all right. LA, of course, got in foul trouble a little later. Jasmine Lewis has been playing well for y'all. The game winner, 5 for 5. What do you think the split there is going to be going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think those two kids, obviously have to split time. I think that they play very much alike, and even just on a conditioning factor, I'm not sure that both of them or either of them could play extended minutes at a high level that we need them to play at. I want them to stay out of foul trouble. I love that we try to always have a big inside presence with one of them being on the court. I think they're complementing each other really well right now. There might be some times that we can put them both on the floor. We'll have to see what that matchup looks like, but I'm really proud of them for playing so much better against Colorado. I didn't think that they played well at all against Jackson State, and I hated that for both of them, and I hated that for us because we need them to perform well. But I did think that against Colorado, they really redeemed themselves, and both of them had really solid games. So we need them to stay healthy. We need that big, strong inside presence, and they're both experienced. So that's that. There's a big difference in a 23, 22-year-old who's been playing for quite a while in the post, particularly, than a 18-year-old, that's coming in that still looks like a baby giraffe or a baby deer sometimes. So we'll continue to work on that. But I've really been pleased. I was really pleased with both of their efforts on whatever night that was. I can't remember now, but Wednesday night, right? On Wednesday night.
Yeah, it took me a second, too.
Oh, I know. I'm so confused what day it is.
What specifically against Louisiana, what do you see in Louisiana that could be tough for y'all?
Yeah, their defense is tough because they can extend it in the full court. They're very scrappy. We're going to have to take care of the basketball. They also can get to the free throw line and be aggressive in the paint. So we're going to have to shut down some driving lanes. We'll have to do a good job of defending them just in the paint. And then also taking care of the basketball. Our shot selection needs to continue to get better, and then we need to take care of the basketball so that they don't get easy buckets in transition because they're a good transition team. And we've been really trying to stress to our team that our transition defense starts with our shot selection. And we've got to take good shots and take care of the basketball so that we can set up our defense in whether it be transition or off of a make. It certainly helps us. Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all coming on this cold day.